What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. I'm Crystal Divine Queen, and this is my indigenous lifestyle. Today I'm doing a story time. I have not done a story time in so long. I don't even remember what my last story time was, and that's pretty sad, y'all, because I got stories for days. Like, I got some stories for y'all, but today's story time is going to be about my ectopic pregnancy experience, okay? This is the reason why I am not pro birth control. I will never, ever, 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 ever get on birth control again, and it is because of this experience right here. So, if you are not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the like button. Let's get these views up as well, and the algorithm flowing in the YouTube world, okay? Because this is a story that I feel like a lot of women need to hear, and the things that I have to share about my experience can definitely help another sister out. So let me real brief tell you my history with birth control. I was 18 when I lost my virginity, and the first time I ever had sex, I got pregnant. So after I had that baby, I got on birth control, and I got the Depo-Provera shots. I got the shot in the hospital before I even left home from having the baby, and that shot lasts for about 3 months, and then you're supposed to go back and get another one. I never went back to get another one because I started having really bad dizzy spells, and never in my life have I ever looked out of my own eyeballs and the whole room be spinning, my vision be blurry, everything is like zigzag and just spinning, like just moving. Like I can't see, I can see, but it's just blurry and it's moving. I can't really walk, like I gotta hold on to something, I need help, like, and it just would randomly come and then randomly go away. And I just knew deep down inside that it was because of that Depo-Provera shot. And if I'm not mistaken, because that was like 13 years ago, I think I looked up the side effects and I seen that dizziness was one of the side effects. So I never went back because that was scary for me. That was like really scary, and I never went back and got another Depo-Provera shot. So I went all that time without any type of birth control, and I was not even monitoring my ovulation. Though I was aware of it, I still wasn't, you know, really tracking my periods or monitoring my ovulation at all. I was sort of kind of keeping track of my periods, but I wasn't doing it the right way. Like, I was just out here in these streets reckless, to be frank. I really was. But then again, you know, nobody taught me anything, and then I didn't have a circle of friends who were doing these things either, so it just wasn't a norm to me. Mitchell banging on the door. Anyways, 3 years later, after giving birth to my daughter, I got pregnant the second time with my son. And after I gave birth to him, the doctor that I had at the time offered me birth control. And right away I said I don't want the Depo-Provera shot because of my experience with getting dizzy spells. So they told me about the Mirena, which is an IUD, and they told me I have an option to have one in that lasts for 5 years or one that lasts for 10. And I remember feeling like 10 is a little bit extreme. I'll take the 5. And so that's what I did. I got on the 5-year Mirena IUD, which is something that they inserted vaginally through my vagina. It was very small. I'm gonna insert a picture. Yeah, they inserted it in me. Once again, they gave it to me before I left the hospital, and I was good. You know, I had this birth control in that was gonna last for 5 years, and I was just like, all right, I'm out here now. I don't gotta worry about getting pregnant for at least 5 years. And so I was out here doing me. I was not protecting myself as I should. Every time I had sex, I did not use a condom. But that's another story for another day. At the time, I was 21. Okay, I was 21 when I had my son. I was 18 when I had my daughter. So I'm young, I'm out here. No guidance is in my life, no positive role models, no females who, you know, are enlightened about the body and how to take care of your womb, and none of that is even in my consciousness right now. So I'm just out here. I was on that birth control for 4 years, and around year 4, that is when I started to become enlightened, if you will, about the horrors of birth control and how it's not really good for you. This is around the time when I had a consciousness shift. I started to eat differently. I stopped eating meat. Up into this 4th year, I'm on this birth control, and I'm just learning about cleansing my body and detoxing and fasting, and you know, I've started learning about Dr. Sebi and how all diseases can be healed, and you know, just learning that diabetes and cancer and all this stuff is not hereditary, it's more environmental, and you know, just on this new wave of taking care of my body and preserving my life. And I got into a relationship with someone, and not too long after we were involved, I got pregnant. I became pregnant. I found out when I was about 4 weeks and a couple of days. I found out because I missed a period, and we went to the store, we got a test. I took a test and confirmed that I was in fact pregnant, and I started having, you know, my symptoms, cravings and things of that nature. 2 weeks later, I started having pain in my chest, and at this point I hadn't told anyone that I was pregnant. No one knew that I was pregnant except for me and my partner at the time. So I started having these pains in my chest, and I remember that I was at work and I was on my lunch break and I was eating some leftovers. Me and my partner, we had went to a Mexican restaurant, and I had took some food home and I brought it to work the next day to eat while I was on break. So I was eating, and then that's when I started having those pains in my chest, and it kind of reminded me of heartburn, but the only thing that was different was the pain was coming starting from my chest, but it was shooting out to my shoulder, like my arm just was hurting as well. So it was like a throbbing pain starting here and just shooting here, like ooh. It was horrible, and I never felt anything like it. I can compare the pain in my chest to like heartburn, but I just knew that it wasn't heartburn because it was shooting out to my shoulder. So it was excruciating. It was really bad, so bad to the point that I left work and went straight to the hospital. And I'm not the type of person, even back then in my life, like I was not the type of person to go to the hospital unless I felt like it was an emergency. So I was in really bad shape, and I remember I didn't have a car at the time, so I called like a Lyft ride. Got to the hospital, I called the Lyft ride, and I got in the back of the car, and I couldn't even sit up straight. That's how bad my chest hurt, and I was just like hunched over, laying down in the seat, like, oh my God, please just take me to the emergency room. I gotta go. So I get to the hospital, I'm waiting in the waiting room. I didn't have to wait too terribly long. Real quick, a little backstory. I'm living in this small country town. I'm talking about small country town where everybody knows everybody, okay? And so I'm at their local hospital, and I'm waiting to be seen. I finally get seen. They check my vitals and everything, and they give me some pain medicine, and it makes the pain go away. I don't remember what kind of medicine it was, but they wrote it off as acid reflux, and they sent me home, told me to go to the store and get some over-the-counter medicine, and you know, I should be good. And remember, I was literally in the middle of eating some spicy ass Mexican food, so I kind of felt like, okay, well, I mean, it could be, even though deep down inside I felt like it wasn't no dang on heartburn, it wasn't no acid reflux. I had let them know that I was pregnant, you know, but they didn't really, you know, do any extensive testing. You know, they literally just checked my vitals, gave me some pain medicine, and wrote it off as acid reflux. I went home, I felt better, the pain medicine made the pain go away, and I was just like, alright, I just need to chill out, I don't need to eat no spicy foods, because maybe they're right or whatever. And shit, maybe I just needed some damn Pepto-Bismol. I don't know. I didn't believe it, but because of the Mexican food, I kind of convinced myself that that's what it was. But 2 days later, the pain came right back, and I was at work again, and this time I wasn't eating. I hadn't ate anything spicy, no Mexican food, no nothing spicy over the past couple of days, and it was a sharp shooting pain in my chest, shooting back out to my shoulder all over again. So I left work again, and I went straight to the hospital, and this time I told them, look, y'all need to take a deeper look at me, evaluate me a little bit more, because something is not right, and this is not no damn heartburn or no acid reflux. So what they did after doing everything they did prior, again, the thing they did different was they gave me a vaginal ultrasound. And when she was giving me the ultrasound, I could just tell by her body language, her presence, her demeanor, that she saw something that wasn't right. And I asked her, and she told me that, you know, you have to wait and speak with the doctor. And right then and there, I knew something was wrong. I didn't know what was wrong, but I knew something was wrong. Something was wrong with the baby. Something was wrong up in that vagina. I just knew that something was wrong by her response, because if everything was right, then she would have told me, you know, everything is looking good. You get what I'm saying? Because I had to tell them a couple of times, like, well, I am pregnant. Y'all all aware of that, or whatever the case may be. And so I don't know who I talked to that it clicked with, but somebody sent in an order for me to get the vaginal ultrasound, and the lady found something. So when she finished, she left the room. I got dressed. I waited for the doctor to come in. Well, actually, I got dressed and I got sent to a different room back in, like, it was like a emergency waiting room, you know, where each person has like their own little cubicle with the curtains separating everybody. That's where I was. Mind you, I am still in pain, and they would not give me no pain medicine this time. This time around, they gave me no pain medicine, nothing. So I've been at the hospital for hours now, having this excruciating pain, knowing now that something is wrong, and they're not telling me what is going on. So finally the doctor comes. I'm in so much pain, and he tells me that the baby exploded. Excuse me, he did not even use the word baby. He used fetus or something, you know. He just wouldn't call it a baby. He said it wasn't even a baby yet, which was so hurtful to me, you know. You're basically telling me my baby died, and you're also telling me that it wasn't a baby. So I'm getting ahead of myself. The doctor comes in, and he tells me that I had an ectopic pregnancy. I don't know what the hell that is. I've never heard of this before. And so he explains it to me that the egg was traveling through my fallopian tubes, going towards my uterus, and for some reason it stopped, and the egg was still growing, and it burst in my tube. And the reason why I was having such sharp pain was because I had a tremendous amount of internal bleeding going on inside, and it was going up into my stomach, which is why I was having the pain in my chest and in my shoulder, and I was on the verge of dying. Like, I went to the hospital, y'all, and they sent me back home, and the whole time my fallopian tube had burst. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that was just so dangerous. And What if I didn't go back? What if I went to the store and took some Pepto-Bismol thinking, oh, the pain is back, I don't know what's going on, you know, believing them, not trusting my instincts, knowing no, something is wrong, you know. What if I didn't do that? I could have died. I could have died. So to make matters worse, you know, he's explaining it to me, and I'm asking about the baby, and he's like, it's not even a baby. It never was a baby. It was still an egg. It didn't go into the uterus yet. You know, just all kind of insensitive things about me as a pregnant woman and what's going on with my body right now. And then he has the nerve to tell me that I have to get surgery immediately. And I'm in excruciating pain, y'all. So I don't even know, like, I'm there but I'm not there. Like, I'm hearing everything he's saying but I'm not there. On top of everything, I'm by myself. There's no one at the hospital. I'm living in this town called New Bern. Living in New Bern. I'm not from here. My family is like 3.5 hours away. And the guy that I'm in a relationship with is at home with all the children, his children and my older 2 children at the time. So he can't come to the hospital and bring all of them. He had to get them from school and all this other stuff going on at home while I'm sitting up here at the hospital. So it was just crazy, and I was by myself through all of that. And later on, it kind of clicked to me. I have a best friend who had an ectopic pregnancy before me, like right before me. She had the same birth control as me, and she kept hers in all 5 years, and then she got it taken out, but she didn't get another one in. She got pregnant, had an ectopic pregnancy, but the difference is her doctor told her that she had a choice between surgery or taking some pill. And the doctor that I saw in the emergency room did not offer me anything about a pill, and in the moment I didn't think about that, you know. And it just bothers me still to this day that there was another option and it wasn't presented to me. And I knew about it, but it was just so much going on. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't think clearly. I'm in excruciating pain, and they won't even give me pain medicine so I can think clearly and make a decision, you know. So I consented to the surgery. I was scared. I never had surgery before in my life. I was terrified. I was by myself. I'm in so much pain. I just didn't know what else to do. So they wheeled me in and gave me surgery, and the surgery consisted of them taking out my tube that had burst. To this day, I don't have mixed feelings. To this day, I feel like they took my good tube and left me my bad tube. The whole thing was very shady. I was by myself. I do remember calling my partner at the time, and he telling him, you know, that I had to get surgery and the tube burst and just everything, and he was like screaming and yelling at me because he's scared and he's afraid. Like, he has some shit going on with him. But, you know, I had the surgery, stayed at the hospital maybe a couple of days, and then I went home recovering. I can't remember exactly how long it was before I was able to go back to work. After, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks, I had my post-surgery checkup, and I just remember the doctor just checked my cervix. Like, that's it. He didn't give me no ultrasound. He didn't look at my womb. He just put on some gloves, stuck his finger up my vagina, checked my cervix, and told me I was good and I was healed. And I just knew that that was wrong. And I asked him, like, that's all you're gonna do? And he said, yeah, there's nothing else that I need to do. You know, and I'm in this country ass town, and I just got so many bad vibes from that white man. I just did. I got so many, everything in my body just screamed wrong, you know, wrong. This isn't right. He sent me home with a picture, 2 pictures. This was after I had surgery. So after I had surgery, he sent me home with 2 pictures. My camera keeps on dying, so I need to wrap this up. But y'all, to this day, I feel like that doctor took my good tooth and left me my bad tooth. And fast forward maybe a year later, I was talking to one of my best friends about my situation, and she told me that that actually really happened to her stepmom, you know. And her stepmom has a lot of kids, and after she had the ectopic pregnancy, she had a lot of kids. And come to find out later on in life, I forgot exactly how, from another doctor, she found out that the whole time she had been having children with the bad tooth. And when I was having this conversation with my friend, I believe I was in fact pregnant at the time with Mitchell. So it happens, ladies, it happens, okay? You cannot trust these damn doctors. You cannot trust these doctors. And I haven't went to the extent of going to a doctor to find out, you know, get that ultrasound to find out if my good tube is still there or the bad one is. But there's just so much information that's been left out. Like, they never even told me which one, you know. And I have 2 incision points. I have an incision point on both sides of my lower abdomen, and they're uneven too. They're like this. And I know that the fallopian tubes is real small, you know, inside of us, but I just always wondered, like, how did they take the tube out of such a small incision? Like, there's no scar, there's no stitch. It was just like a tiny hole, y'all. So I don't know what the hell they did to me, because I was knocked out. I was unconscious during surgery, you know. And of course, when you're asleep, it just seems like everything happens so fast, you know. I remember counting down, and then I just remember waking up. And then, so yeah, I had that post-surgery checkup, and all he did was stick his fingers in my vagina and check my cervix, you know. And he didn't even look at my womb. He didn't even look at my tube. So I just know some shady shit went on with there. And I know that the ectopic pregnancy happened because of the birth control. So this is my story, and this is why I will never get on birth control again. And I'm just grateful that, even though I know intuitively that something shady went on with my ectopic pregnancy, I'm just grateful that I'm still able to birth life. I'm still able to birth life. And after that, I had the ectopic pregnancy in January of 2017. I got pregnant in April of 2017, and I went on to give birth to a beautiful, healthy baby boy naturally in a hospital environment, February 27th, 2018. Ever since the ectopic pregnancy, I have been tracking my period, and I have been tracking my ovulation. I have been paying attention to my body, and I'm really connected with thyself, and I'm very, very, very much in tune with my womb. And it sucks that it took a traumatic experience for me to finally get there. But I'm hoping that sharing my story will encourage you, any woman out there who is watching this. If you have daughters, nieces, aunts, cousins, sisters, mothers, you know, let them know that we need to be tracking our periods, tracking our ovulations, and using that as a natural method for birth control. And it works, okay? When I got pregnant with Mitchell, I knew that I was ovulating. I knew it was a high chance that I would get pregnant, and I got pregnant. Any other time that I have sex and I'm not ovulating, I don't get pregnant. I don't get pregnant, you know. And with this pregnancy right now, same thing. I knew, like, I knew. And it works. It really does work. So I use an app There's so many different apps you can download on your phone, or you can do it the old-fashioned way and mark it on your calendar. But I just use the app because it does most of the hard work for me. And the app that I've used the same app, y'all, since the beginning. I can scroll on my app all the way back to 17, before I got pregnant with Mitchell, when I started using it, you know. And somebody told me about it while I was sharing my story about my ectopic pregnancy experience. So that's it. I'm gonna wrap up this story time because I don't want my camera to die again. But that is my experience with the ectopic pregnancy, and this is why I will never get on birth control again, because I know that that is why I had that experience. I'm a perfectly healthy woman. At the time in my life, I was very healthy. I had cut out a lot of foods in my diet. I was exercising. Like, I was in good optimal health. The only thing was that I had got off that freaking birth control, and I didn't give my body time to heal. That's another thing. If you are on birth control right now and you want to get off of birth control, please give your body time to regroup and adjust and heal. Okay, because yes, the birth control is preventing you from getting pregnant, but it is doing a whole lot of other stuff to your insides, and you have got to heal from all of that. I didn't allow myself time to do that, you know, and I didn't know I was going to get in a relationship with someone a month later and 4 months after that get pregnant. But I also wasn't that consciously aware of the possibility of an ectopic pregnancy. I had never heard of this before, you know. I felt like I was off birth control and my body was good. My body was going to bounce back like that, and that was not the case. So, track your ovulation, ladies. Keep track of your period. Stay away from that birth control. Do it the natural, holistic way. Save yourself from surgery. Save yourself from possible situations where, you know, the rest of your life you have to wonder or live with the fact that they took your good organ and left you the bad one, because they know that you can still have a baby with that bad too. You know, just like my best friend's stepmama had about 2, 3, 4 kids on her bad too. So, yeah. That's it. I'm wrapping up the story time. Thank you guys for tuning in. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next story time. Peace.